Hello everyone, LucaYasha, and welcome to another episode of Pokemon Top 5, where we count down my top 5 favourite flying type Pokemon. Now, of all the lists we have done so far, this has been one of the trickiest, but it's also going to be one of the shortest lists, because due to the nature of what the flying type is in relative to what Pokemon. You see, flying type is not really a main type, it's really more of a side feature than anything, and because most flying types have dual typings, and I believe the only Pokemon that has pure flying type in it is Thundurus. I could be wrong about that, but Thundurus is a legend, so he's not on this list. I just said Thundurus, it's Tornadus who has pure flying type. Honestly, Luke, get that right. But flying types do offer quite a few things in terms of what they can do. For one, they're immune to ground types and also offer resistance to fighting, which they're also super effective against. However, they are weak to electric, rock and ice, and obviously stealth rocks hurt flying types, which is a bit annoying. In terms of offense, they most times have above average attack, special attack and speed, making them potential sweepers. But due to that fact, it just seems that, well, it's more of a side feature. There's not really a standout flying type in my opinion. There may be one or two, but most of the times I look at the Pokemon for their primary typing. Flying type is just a side feature. So like I said, this video is going to be a lot shorter than the rest of the top 5s in this series. If it does exceed the limit of what I thought I would do, then oh well. So well, let's begin with my top 5 flying type Pokemon. Number 5. Starting the list off at number 5, we have Gliscor. Now, Gliscor is just one of the coolest mons I can think of to date. I mean, look at that thing. It's a bat scorpion. Now, in terms of what it's typing, it's ground and flying, which in theory is pretty good. It gets rid of the electric weakness it has, but then doubles the ice weakness it has. So in terms of what it obviously is weak to water as well, and ice is not nice, and I do think it takes a bit of damage from stealth rocks. I'm not entirely sure, I can't remember off the top of my head, but Gliscor is a tank of a flying type. Even though I said that most of the times they're offensive fast, and don't get me wrong, Gliscor is very offensive, its attack is monstrous and its speed is really high, but it's got massive defense and it's just amazing. And of course, most people know of the Toxic Orb set, where it can actually heal when being toxicked. So just basically, it's a better leftovers. I prefer to run the Impish Nature one just so I can take physical hits better, but some people do prefer to run offensive Gliscors, and it works just as well. Acrobatics Gliscor is a thing, and it hurts. So like I said, in terms of design, I just love it. There's like a little bat cape on its back. Gliscor is just awesome. I use him a lot when I'm playing on Pokemon. I'm pretty sure in the most recent Wi-Fi battles, you've seen that I bring it quite often. Granted, there's been a Wi-Fi battle in a while. That was a very tough sentence to say. But most of the times I do bring Gliscor just because it's amazing. Of course, when you're on the receiving end of a Gliscor, you think you're living a living hell. And I don't blame you. Gliscor is a monster to deal with. It's a problem. So really, just hit it with full power with special attacks. Hydro Pumps in rain, just bring all those all the time. Still, I really just do enjoy using Gliscor. Like I said, the design is what really sells me on it, because you know I like bats, and scorpions are pretty damn awesome by themselves. And there was a flying type on this list who was very close to being who is a bat, Crobat. And despite how much I love bats, Crobat for me has sort of become tainted in the fact that I see it everywhere in UU. Oh, there's a Crobat everywhere, a Crobat, and of course we can't forget about Zubat Cave. So in the end, it just got a bit annoying. I do like Crobat, but I had to give this to the better bat of the flying types, to Gliscor. So, at number 5 this week, we have Gliscor. Number 4. Taking 4th place this week, we have Honchkrow. Now, Honchkrow was already in the top 5 Dark-type Pokemon, and it wouldn't be surprised that it would have returned back here. For one, of course, the design of this thing is just beautiful. Its power is amazing. Moxie Boost, Nasty Plot, it can go so many ways. Granted, it's very odd considering the fact that it's one of the slower flying types. I mean, don't get me wrong, the speed isn't monstrously low, but I'd say it's about average. Of course, Sucker Punch Honchkrow is a thing, so that can hurt. And like I said, design is what sold it for me, and from this point on in the video, all the Pokemon you're about to see have already mentioned on previous lists. When I was coming up with this list, there was quite a few flying types that I did want to put on here, like Skarmory. I really wanted to put Gyarados, but the problem is I don't consider Gyarados a proper flying type. Maybe just because it should be Water Dragon. And they gave us a Water Dark Mega, which I guess is fine, but we wanted Water Dragon. So, either way, let's talk about Honchkrow. Honchkrow is just pure power. Of course, you can run the physical Moxie set, which is, well, monstrous. And then you can run the Nasty Plot set, which works just as well. It gets quite a few good special attacks. Granted, it does suffer from a bit of Full Moon Syndrome. Basically, you see the same things on it. Still, I really love Honchkrow. Murkrow is an absolute monster as well. Murkrow even. Murkrow can just like one-shot teams. Have you seen in a few free-for-all battles, not on my channel, but I've seen on free-for-all battles where they bring a Murkrow and it just Perish Songs and it destroys lives. Is it Perish Song? I'm pretty sure it is. I can't remember. But I said Murkrow's pretty cool, and then when they gave it the evolution, I could be just talking about my mum right now. But anyway, Honchkrow, just one of my favourite dark types, so it would make sense it's a flying type. It would be on the list. So at number 4 this week, we are going to have Honchkrow. Number 3. In 3rd place this week, we have Salamence. Now, I'm not really going to go into too much detail about Salamence because you can hear me fawn over him on the Dragon type list, but I'll go over the basics. Salamence is powerful. It's my favourite pseudo. In terms of Dragon types, I think it's probably the best, or the most one that resembles a Dragon. When I think of a Dragon type, this is it. And the fact that it's flying is just, it's icing on the cake. Granted, there are quite a few Dragon flying types, and they're all quad weak to ice. But either way, Salamence for me just stands out far more than any of the others. In terms of design, I just love this thing. I'm a Gen 3er, so anything from Gen 3 immediately gets a thumbs up from me. Don't take that out of context though, because there are quite a few Gen 3 Pokemon I absolutely despise. But Gen 3 does contain some of my most favourite mons. Now in terms of Salamence, in terms of what it can do, obviously Dragon Dance, the Mega Salamence, that thing really hurts. I said, the Mega design isn't bad. Of course, when I saw it I was a bit skeptical. I was one of those people who said, oh, where's his arms? And you could see his little toe. But Salamence is just so cool. I mean, look at this thing just flying above on the platform above, and then when it megas, it goes even higher. Granted, it makes no sense. It turns into a jet fighter and it loses speed. A bit odd. Salamence is just pure attack. It's got high attack, special attack, and speed, and access to Dragon Dance and Moxie. This thing can become a great sweeper. Granted, its frailty is what holds it back in battles. I mean, if you're able to set up a Dragon Dance and then just keep Moxie boosting all the way, then you're going to be pretty much set. Of course, you can decide to run a more defensive version of Salamence, because it has access to the ability Intimidate as well. It does mean that you're actually able to be a bit more defensive. If you want to run a Careful Nature, or one that boosts your special defense, and then just run Bold Nature, or whatever, with Intimidate drops, you can oftentimes do a lot of damage. And of course, even on that build, you can choose to run Dragon Dance to boost that stat. So Salamence is just really versatile. In terms of the damage it can pull out, it's just amazing. And the flying type really is just an addition. I prefer it more of a dragon than the flying type, because that's the problem with flying types. There really isn't a flying type that stands out because of its flying type. I don't really think there is. You mainly look at them for their primary types, and the only one that has the only ones that have primary types flying are the Noivern line and Tornadus. I said that right that time. But still, Salamence, you're pretty damn awesome. So, taking 3rd place this week, we are going to have Salamence. Number 2. Taking 2nd place this week is Emolga. I can already feel the heat I'm going to get from saying that, putting Emolga above Salamence and all the others so far. But I really don't care. Emolga is one of my favourite electric types, and it's just adorable. I love Emolga. I want to have one in real life and just hug it and hug it and hug it and hug it until its head explodes. Seriously though, Emolga is just, I don't know what it is about Emolga. I think I just really connected with it. The design for one is my favourite Pikachu version, or Pika clone, even though I hate the term. And of course the flying type to an electric type, I believe the only other one like that is Zapdos. I can't think if there are any others that are electric flying. And that makes it pretty awesome in itself, because when you're electric flying, you only have the weakness to your flying types. Because ground type, you're immune to ground types due to your flying nature. So electric flying type is probably one of my favourites in the game. And Emolga, I just love this thing. The adorable little anime face it's got. And I think Emolga is just one of those Pokemon that makes me laugh. I really don't know, I just smile every time I see an Emolga. It's just adorable, and I love it, I love it, I love it. He was on the top 5 electric types, but I believe he's only 2nd place, and he's only 2nd place this time as well. But the strange thing is, he's probably in my top 10 favourite Pokemon. Which may sound strange considering the fact that, oh well, you didn't have him in your top 1st place on your electric type list. No, I gave that to Galvantula. But Emolga is still really, really cool to me. I just love using this thing. I really don't think I have any other reason than I love using it. And I have two Emolgas. I have an Agility Etra Ball set, and I have a Haxi set, which is Attract, Taunt, what was it? Taunt, and basically it stops people from moving. Oh, Nuzzle. So basically you attract Nuzzle, and they're paralyzed and in love with you, and it's really funny to use. I once got on Showdown, and I got a comment saying, "That's too much hacks, man. Too much hacks." So Emolga, you're just really fun to use. I smile whenever I see an Emolga. So claiming second place this week, we have Emolga.
Number 1.
And claiming the number 1 spot this week, we have Noivern. Remember how I said Noivern line is the only one that has Flying type as its first typing? That is mainly why Noivern's at number 1, its uniqueness. Granted, Dragon Flying is not any different, but Flying Dragon, I class it as different. And of course, the design, I love this thing so much. He's number 1 on my Dragon type list, and he's number 1 here on the Flying type list, so you can guess that he is one of my favourite Pokemon of all time. Now, in terms of what he brought in Generation 6, I really thought this thing was going to be the pseudo-legend of Gen 6, and it's really powerful, don't get me wrong, but we got Goodra, and Goodra's like, yeah, it's okay, Goodra, you're cool. But Noivern to me just stands out. It's the same thing when I say Volcarona should have been a pseudo, a tied pseudo. I think Noivern would have made a great proper pseudo-legendary. He's just so cool. And if he ever got a Mega in the future, I would just, oh my god, I would fawn and I'd faint, and I think I'd be done with GameFreak, because they had literally done, that's all they can do. That's all they can do to make this game better for me. Just give him a Mega. Now, in terms of Noivern's power, we all know the classic Boom Burst, because Boom Burst is powerful power. And you can run physical variants of Noivern because its best stat is its speed, and its special attack and attack are pretty balanced. It's got higher special attack, I believe, but even so, you can run mixed, you can run physical, you can run special. It's very versatile in what it can do, and I said the design. You know I love bats and bat dragons. Yes please, Game Freak, more of those. More bat dragons. If there was a typing and call it bat, then yeah, bat dragon, we need one of those. Still, I absolutely love Noivern so much, and to be honest, I really knew, when I was making this list, I was set on the top 3. Honchkrow and Gliscor were tied for like 4th, I couldn't figure out which one I wanted to put there. But Noivern was just so clear to me, it was like destiny that I was going to have him at number 1. So, yeah, that's really all I have to say, because there isn't really much to go into when it comes to the Flying type. The Flying type is a side feature, it's not really anything that stands out. I mean, hell, you can look at Flying type gym leaders, and really it's more stand out because of like the Dragon types, like Altaria from Generation 3. You say, oh, is the Dragon type? No, you say they're Flying. Still, Noivern to me is just perhaps one of the coolest mons in the game, and probably just one of the coolest Flying and Dragon types. So, at number 1 this week, we have Noivern. And there you have it, guys, my top 5 favourite Flying type Pokemon. Like I said, this list is going to be shorter than the rest. It probably on the same duration as Fire, but that was because Fire had a lot of repeats, and Flying did as well. Like, the only one that we've had new so far was Gliscor. If your favourite Flying type wasn't on the list, write down in the comments your top 5 favourite Flying types, or just your first favourite. So thank you all so much for watching, and next week we're going to be tackling the Ghost type for a creepier Halloween special. I'll see you all there. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been LucaYasha. I'll see you all in the next vid. Goodbye.